Monty Python's Flying Circus showed us how not to have an argument.
No, this isn't an argument.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. It's just contradiction.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It is not. If I argue with you, I must take up a contrary position.
But it isn't just saying no, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. Argument's an intellectual process. Contradiction is just the automatic gainsaying of anything the other person says.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Not at all.
No, look.
Thank you.
An argument is more than the automatic naysaying of what the other person said. Beyond that, however, there is a considerable amount of subtlety and complexity in conducting an argument. First off, I should make clear that in talking about arguments, I am discussing sincere efforts by people to have a constructive discussion that will lead to a meaningful mutual understanding. I am not including such things as acts of bickering that are just trying to score points over someone. Trying to defeat someone is not an argument, it's simply a quarrel. The automatic naysaying of what the other person says is quarreling, and it is mostly a waste of everyone's time. I feel I have to stress this because many people still seem eager to waste everyone's time by offering little more than versions of "nuh-uh." Even elaborate, wordy versions of "nuh-uh" are still automatic naysayings. And when you deconstruct what some people say, all they're saying is "nuh-uh." So how does one debate constructively? And yes, at the risk of sounding posh, I will use the word debate. The art of formal debate isn't taught much anymore. It certainly wasn't taught at my joke of a high school. In a formal debate, people take a contrary position, yes, but attempt to have a constructive discussion that will lead to a meaningful mutual understanding. That means listening to the other person's statements and responding to them and what they said with meaningful substantive statements. We shouldn't restrict such civil and intelligent behaviors to a formal debate. We should listen to people and respond substantively to them all the time. We also shouldn't look for disagreements. We should be more focused on areas of agreement. Certainly, social media and online forums tempt us to reply with simplistic, lazy "nuh-uh," but we need to not lower ourselves to that level. I could write a very long article, speak a very long podcast about how to constructively debate with other people, but I thankfully need not reinvent the wheel. Caroline Hopper and Laura Tavares wrote an article for the Greater Good Science Center at the University of California, Berkeley, entitled, "Is There a Better Way to Have an Argument?" You can read that entire article here, but I will repeat their 5 bullet points. Number 1, pay attention to context. Number 2, take winning off the table. Number 3, prioritize relationships and listen passionately. Number 4, embrace vulnerability. Number 5, be open to transformation. It's a great checklist, and I encourage people to read their article in full and follow their advice. As a philosopher in the continental approach, I see the value of these 5 points in my reading, writing, and teaching. As a person, I see the value of these 5 points for everyday dealing with other people. Those 5 points are also very valuable advice when being online. I don't pretend to know everything or always be correct. I would like to be shown that which I don't yet realize, because then I will learn more than I knew before. Happily, there are many sincere people who respond to what I write, publish, and say with constructive statements that lead to meaningful mutual understandings. Sadly, there are many insincere people who respond to what I write with various versions of "nuh-uh." The former is helpful, the latter is not. People respond to one of my articles, podcasts, or videos and offer constructive statements responding to what I wrote, I will respond. I owe them that. If I disagree with them, I will say, here is where I agree with you, and here is where I disagree with you. And here's my alternative to what you stated and why I think my alternative works better. When people reply with various versions of "nah," I won't allow them to waste my time. I ignore them. Read and listen. Consider what you read and heard. Don't quarrel. Build a relationship. Be open to transformation. That's how to have a debate, or if you prefer, how to have an argument.